Okay, so this video is going to be a whole lot shorter than your syllabus video. I know, you're upset, but it's true. So we are going to talk through the worship observations part of the class. Now, this is going to be due later on in the semester. Matter of fact, the due date on there should be November the 10th, Thursday, November the 10th. Okay, so throughout the semester, you're going to have, we're going to ask you to go to some different worship services. Now, having said this, this is going to be kind of a weird time with the COVID situation. Once again, some churches may not be meeting at the time where we're doing the course. Some churches are doing entirely online services as they're walking through this stuff. So whatever your situation is, whatever the situation becomes, do what you feel you're most comfortable with. So if you would normally we would assign this and say you have to do at least 2 in-person worship services or something like that. If you do that, if you feel comfortable with going to an area church, please do so. It's a useful thing to be able to see how that particular church does things. At the same time, if you don't necessarily feel comfortable with the COVID situation, you are more than welcome to do all of your worship services online. You do need to watch the whole worship service because you'll be expected to write up a page on what it was that you observed, what it was that your own thoughts were on that particular worship service. You need to decide whether you're going to watch these online worship services or if you're going to go to them in person. In the past, there has also been an option for you to go to Alpha. Alpha is a really useful thing, especially if you are not necessarily familiar with Christianity in a lot of ways. Alpha's a course that you can go to that usually meets at Lindsay on, I think, Tuesday nights. I'm trying to look and find that on here. Yeah, Tuesday nights. Usually Alpha meets on Tuesday nights, and when you go to the Alpha course, it just kind of provides a nice, comfortable place for you to ask questions about God. Now, all of that is to say, I'm actually not 100% sure that Alpha is going on this semester. If it is, then I'll be sure to get you that information as soon as possible. But if it is not, for some reason, I want you to hear that you have that opportunity to do those online worship observations. The big thing that you need to know is that you need to go through and watch the whole service top to bottom. You need to see what the music is like and what the preaching is like and all of these kinds of things. You need to find all of those things and then write up what your own thoughts were on it. You can write it up and say, I thought it was really terrible. Or you can write it up and say, I thought it was great. Whatever it is that your personal thoughts were on that service. It actually says in here, negative assessments are just as welcome as positive ones. We want to make sure that that you paid attention. That's the main thing. You don't need to say, oh, this was amazing, if it was the most boring thing you've ever endured. And you also don't need to say, well, this could have been better, if you actually didn't find anything that you thought could have been improved upon, if it was just like a perfect worship service. So at this point, because of the COVID situation, you can find online services for just about anywhere at all. So I'd encourage you to check out some different places. I say encourage, you have to check out some different places and write up what your thoughts are on that. You will see that you are asked to do 5 different worship services. And each one of those needs to have a 500-page paper written on it. 500. Each one of those needs to have a 500-word, 1-page paper written up on it. I'm so sorry if I freaked anybody out saying that you had to write a 500-page paper. You do not need to write a dissertation on this assignment. All you have to do is write up a 500-word paper for each worship observation that you have. Okay, so at the end of the day, it should be about 5 pages for what you turn in your final assignment. Okay. If they do have Alpha this semester, and you choose to take that path, then this is not an accurate date, I don't think. Alpha lasts a little longer than some of these worship services will, but they also feed you. So there are benefits to that, kind of no matter how you go. If you choose to do the Alpha course, you need to go to 5 meetings. If you choose to do the worship observations as going to actual worship services, you need to watch 5 worship services. I would encourage you to do this throughout the semester, just because it actually helps you to write better stuff, honestly. Sometimes we get folks who will write all 5 of their pages just at the very end of the semester, and it really doesn't turn out as good, just to be honest with you. So I'd encourage you to do that throughout the semester. As they say in the paper, one of the advantages that you may find in Alpha that is not necessarily available during a worship setting is that Alpha is interactive and is actually conducive in a lot of ways to skepticism. It is open to helping you ask those questions that you need to ask. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable asking whatever questions you may have. A lot of churches, if you do actually go to an in-person service, will also say that they're comfortable answering your questions. If you were to come to the church that I pastor and then hang out for a couple minutes after the service, I'd be more than happy to have any conversations with you regarding what you heard that day. Now, I would imagine that none of you are probably going to do that because I'm 2 hours away. But having said that, if you were to do so, or if you even watch the online service that we have, and you decide that you wanted to ask some questions of me via email or whatever it is, you'd be very welcome to do that. So, whatever it is that you decide is just fine. All you need to do is just make sure that you have written up those 5 pages, 500 words each, and just kind of tell what your thoughts are on that assignment. Cool. If you have any questions, let me know.